Going live on YouTube right now. If you want to drop your comments, if you want to request up, you definitely can. But we're gonna break down these two teams and we're gonna get out of here, man. Like I said, it's NFL Sunday. I know a lot of people, focused, locked in on NFL. A lot of people probably still asleep right now too. But we're doing two teams a day every week, every day uh until the NBA season post preseason starts. We've done the New Orleans Pelicans and Atlanta Hawks. We started them on Thursday. Then we did the Brooklyn Nets and the Los Angeles Clippers a day after on Friday. Yesterday we previewed the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Cleveland Cavaliers, and today we got the Chicago Bulls and the San Antonio Spurs, man. So we're gonna get into it. We're gonna talk about this team preview. We're gonna talk about why I'm doing this. We're gonna talk about how I'm doing it, and then we're gonna go ahead and get started. So with no further ado, let's go ahead and get started, man. Let's go ahead and get started. I know I got some Chicago Bull fans that's probably gonna be here. I got some San Antonio Spurs fans that might not be here, but we'll see. We'll see for sure. So first and foremost, man, why am I doing this? Like I said, the NBA preseason starts on September 30th. The Golden State Warriors and the Washington Wizards actually play in Japan to open the NBA preseason this year. So that's one of the big reasons why I'm doing this space. How am I doing it? Like I said, two teams a day. Just kind of going over, recapping what happened in the off season, and gearing up for the season. We know we made a lot of money last year on both of these teams. I know I did. Whether I was fading them or I was backing them. So of course, it's gambling purposes related, but we need to do our homework. I always say, if you stay ready, you don't got to get ready. So that's how we kind of doing it. And then, of course, that's pretty much it. Let's go ahead and get into it, man. Let's get into it. So the Chicago Bulls are up first. I'm in the Chicago Bulls locker room. If you on YouTube, you can see that. They got some. They didn't make a lot of moves this year. I think the big thing for the Chicago Bulls, they just wanted to add some depth to their bench, because we saw when the starters went down last year, they struggled. They struggled mightily towards the middle of the season, towards the end of the season, and of course limped into the playoffs where they were eliminated by the Milwaukee Bucks in the first round. So you bring in a guy like Dragic. Dragic comes over and agrees to a 1-year deal from the Brooklyn Nets. You also bring in a big guy like Andre Drummond, who they I think desperately needed, and he benefits them in a big way, being that they struggled rebounding the ball so much last year. Drummond's not the greatest defender, but he did play a little defense last year when they really needed him to. We saw him be in and out of the rotation in Steve Nash's system over there in Brooklyn as well. So his minutes will be interesting. Backing up a guy like Vucevic, who can rebound the ball but isn't the greatest rebounder. Chicago Bulls also weren't a team that just out rebounded anybody last year. They struggled. I can't remember exactly where they finished, but I know that they weren't the greatest rebounding team. Derrick Jones Jr. was re-signed on a 2-year deal. That is another 3-and-D type guy that can run the floor, provide some spacing. He's a slasher. And then the biggest move that they made was re-signing Zach LaVine. They re-signed Zach LaVine to a 5-year deal. I'm pretty sure he's extremely happy about that. And when you think about subtractions, they don't really have any big ones. They didn't really lose anyone. I think the addition of the starters that were hurt last year coming back actually helps a lot. You get a guy like Ayo DeSumo, who played extremely well, but probably just wasn't ready for the moment based on his player development, being thrust into the moment with guys down like Alex Caruso and Lonzo Ball. So having those guys down, really hurt them, I think, a lot last year. And we kind of, like I said, we saw it the way they kind of walked in, limped into the playoffs. So as far as offseason notes, like I said, I think the focus of the Bulls seemed to be to add some depth to that bench, since we didn't get to see them play at full strength during the playoffs. Billy Donovan is a coach that I can get behind just a tad bit. He isn't the greatest coach, but I also think that his players do play hard for him. He's a defensive-minded coach as well. And we saw Chicago be able to play really good defense at the very beginning of the season last year also. When their guys were healthy, they were making a lot of noise, and I think the expectations were pretty high before the injury started to come in. But then, like I said, you lose guys like Caruso, you lose guys like Lonzo Ball, and they take a big hit, right? So I talked about this already, but they started the season pretty hot last year. Lonzo played well up until the injury. I think he outplayed expectations. He was really, being able to knock down the open shots, get the ball to, Zach LaVine and DeRozan, and let them kind of go to work where they needed to. Then, of course, Zach LaVine got hurt. Caruso wasn't 100% even after the injury last year, and they ended up losing 4-1 in the first round to the Bucks after limping into the playoffs. So last season, this team finished 46-36. Their projected win total I saw on BetMGM last night was 45, but then on DK I saw it at 43.5. So what the books are telling me is that they don't necessarily expect the Chicago Bulls to be the same exact team that they were last year, and maybe they will limp into the playoffs potentially again. This team isn't a team that's full of spring chickens anymore. I mean, you do have youth on this team, guys like Ayo Dosunmu, of course, Lonzo Ball isn't old, but when you think about these guys like DeMar DeRozan, who's over 32, I think now. I think DeMar is closer to 33. He's been in the league for forever. Think about the career in Toronto before going to San Antonio and then Chicago, kind of refueling his career. Guys like him, guys like Zach LaVine's been around the league for, a while now too. These guys and their health are going to be a big question for Chicago Bulls. And I'm not 100% sure that they can stay healthy. Guys like Vucevic also isn't, he hasn't been in the league for too long, but he also has been in the league for quite a while. And then you look at their strength of schedule. They have the 10th most difficult schedule this year. So not a lot of favors done by the schedule makers when it comes to who they're playing, when they're playing them. I don't have the greatest expectation for the Chicago Bulls this year. I think that they could potentially make the playoffs, probably maybe play in game, maybe maybe an eighth seed, but probably still get bounced in the first round again, as they did last year. I'm not strong on this team just because I feel like they still are missing pieces, and I think the injury bug, it sucks to project the injury bug to come back around and bite them again. But I think that's what happens to this team yet again. I can see the injury bug getting into them, just kind of rerunning this course with this team, and them being able to struggle. I do like the addition of Dragic, bringing in another guard that can handle the ball, especially because we know Lonzo already plans on kind of limping into the season this year. Lonzo isn't expected to be 100% this year to start the season, so that's going to be interesting as well. Is there anybody in the chat that wants to join in and give me expectations of what they think the Chicago Bulls will be this year? Maybe you agree with me, maybe you disagree with me. And for full disclaimer, I'm not betting the Chicago Bulls win total under. I'm not putting that future bet in under 43.5 or under 45 on BetMGM or DraftKings. I just literally just don't think that Chicago Bulls is going to be one of the better teams in the Eastern Conference this year, to the tune of winning, close to 40, 46, 47 games this year. I just don't see that for them, given how much stronger the Eastern Conference got. The Chicago Bulls didn't take a lot of leap, but I also think that they probably didn't think that they needed to take a big leap as well, just because, like I said, they limped into the playoffs. So maybe they think in their minds, if we were 100% healthy last year towards the playoffs, we could have gave the Milwaukee Bucks a deeper run and challenged them just a tad bit more. I'm not of the mindset of that, even though I was high on Chicago to start last season. I think, like I said, when injuries kind of play a part, from one season to the other, even though Lonzo missed the end of last year, him not being 100% healthy to start this year gives me cause for concern, because he plays such an integral part of that offense. So I'm not high on the Chicago Bulls. If anybody got anything they want to mention on Chicago, they can. If not, we'll keep it moving and transition to the San Antonio Spurs, who I'm also not really high on, right? So yeah, I'm not seeing anyone rushing to request up. So I'm gonna kick it to San Antonio. So San Antonio, you get additions like Gorgie Deng this year. He agreed to a 1-year deal. And the next guy I'm talking about will be the new face of the franchise, Keldon Johnson. They signed him to a 4-year extension, $80 million. Of course, they lose DeJounte Murray to the Hawks. Lonnie Walker goes to the Lakers. They did draft some young talent. Popovich and that coaching staff is known for the player development. We've seen it throughout Popovich's tenure there in San Antonio. Him just being able to kind of just develop young players. He did the same thing with DeJounte. He did the same thing with Tim Duncan. He did the same thing with Manu Ginobili and Tony Parker. So I think those guys, will. I think what I'm saying is I think the Chicago Bulls. I'm sorry. I think the San Antonio Spurs will have a player development type year. I don't look for this team to go deep at all. Last year, the highlight of their season was Greg Popovich becoming the winningest coach in the NBA. That was the biggest thing that happened last year. They missed the playoffs for the third straight season after losing the play-in game. This season, like I said, I think it's a rebuilding year for San Antonio, if we've ever seen one. Popovich isn't a coach that typically misses the playoffs, but you can tell that by giving up DeJounte Murray, they really aren't playing for anything this year except the player development of some of the younger guys. They did get 3 unprotected first-round picks from the Atlanta Hawks in that swap for DeJounte. And I was actually one of the guys that was looking around trying to figure out why DeJounte was traded. And come to find out, DeJounte was traded, for the people who don't know, because he wants to win now. DeJounte came out, he kept it public, class act by him, but he told that, the GM, he told the management there, Popovich, that he wanted to win now. He wasn't, wanting to stay around and kind of see what was going on, see what was going to happen with this team. He wanted to win now. So with that being said, they decided to get rid of him so that they could, while his stock was high, versus letting him walk next year in the offseason, because this coming year was his last year. It was going to be his last year on his contract anyway. So, they look, like I said, Keldon Johnson will be the face of the team with DeJounte gone now. I think this team, I think they tank. I think they'll try to play hard. They'll play for Popovich for sure, but I just don't see, great expectations for this team. Last year, the San Antonio Spurs finished the season 34-48. Projected win total is down to 23.5 games, which lets you know that the books aren't high on the San Antonio Spurs either. They're projecting them to win 10 less games than they won last year. And also, maybe the most important part is their strength of schedule. They actually have the most difficult schedule of any team in the NBA this year. So I think a lot of from a betting angle, I think we attack the San Antonio Spurs early, because not having the guys that they had last year and the offense kind of running through Keldon Johnson, teams will probably double team Keldon Johnson to get the ball out of his hand. He's an explosive shooter. So I'm interested to see what this looks like, but I probably will be attacking the San Antonio Spurs. Also, from a rotational standpoint, the San Antonio Spurs will have guys on their team that provide tremendous value to the betting markets, right? Because you lose DeJounte Murray, somebody who had a super high usage rate last year, it's going to be pretty easy to find value from the rotational piece of who Greg Popovich trusts, getting these guys in spots to be effective. We will see guys on this team numbers from a projected standpoint of week 1, week 2 increase tremendously based on what they lost. Guys like Lonnie Walker, guys like DeJounte Murray, who used a good bit of usage last year. So that's kind of the wrap up for the San Antonio Spurs. Like I said, a team that I'm not high on. I think a lot of people aren't high on. It looks to be a rebuilding season for them. You lose somebody like DeJounte Murray, but you get the picks because one thing we do know for sure is that San Antonio is great at drafting, great at player development. So this won't be the year for San Antonio, though. If I had to look, the win total is so low that I struggle to go under 23.5, just out of respect for Popovich. But I don't see a way that this team wins more than 24, 25 games this year, just based on this, like I said, the strength of schedule and the lack of talent that they'll have. With just trying to just develop some of these younger guys, some of the draft picks that they got in the draft this year. So yeah, that's all I got, man. If anybody wanna chime in, request up. I know, like I said, I know it's NFL Sunday. I'm ready for the NFL shows as well. I'm ready. I'm ready for the NFL, but the commitment that I made was to do 2 teams a day, which is why I'm doing them, pretty early on a Sunday, to get them out the way so that we can talk, we can talk NFL football, real quick, short and to the point. Just wanting to, bring the community together, kind of rapid fire, catching people up on what happened with these 2 teams throughout, the off season. So if anybody got anything they want to share on the San Antonio Spurs or the Chicago Bulls, feel free to request up, and I'll get you on the mic. If you jumped in late and you want to hear, kind of my team preview for both teams, definitely check out the YouTube page, Crispy Cap and 2 P's 2 N's, just as it is on Twitter. All of these spaces will be recorded. The YouTube version will be recorded as well. So guys can go back and kind of get a brief synopsis real quick on how I'm projecting these teams to be, and what I'm looking at. Because like I said, 2 weeks from now, we'll be able to bet NBA basketball, which will be crazy. And I always say, if you stay ready, you don't got to get ready. So that's why, I do my homework, and I, like to bring the community together to kind of share what I found. Take it. Maybe you don't agree with it. Maybe you do agree with it. Whatever the case might be, the information is there, right? So if I don't have any requests, we're gonna go ahead and shut down. This is the shortest show I had, and that's what I kind of expected, because it is, like I said, it's NFL Sunday. I'm excited about NFL Sunday, as you guys are as well. But like I said, I made the commitment to do 2 teams a day, so we're gonna do 2 teams a day, man. Then coming up, NBA props in the chat on YouTube. He said excited to see Trey Jones with the Spurs and see his usage. Devin Vassell as well. These would be spots I'll be looking at early on in the season. I agree with that prop. I think it goes to the sentiment that I just said, right? The Spurs will have a ton of value from a prop betting perspective. The Spurs will have a lot of value because you take away a guy like DeJounte Murray and Lonnie Walker, Trey Jones, Devin Vassell, Keldon Johnson numbers will probably be inflated just because of the money that they gave him, just because he will be the face of the franchise. I will be surprised not to see big, posters and uh, just a lot of. I would be surprised not to see his name kind of all over downtown San Antonio, just because, like I said, they gave him the keys to the ship. So I would agree with that prop. I definitely agree with that. Guys like Trey Jones they're gonna get buckets. Doug buckets going to fire away from distance as well. Yeah, Dougie McBuckets for sure. Yeah, Doug McDermott will be a guy that if because one thing about San Antonio is they know how to run their offense, right? Like Popovich gonna have guys in the right place at the right time. I think it's just gonna be a lack of execution based on talent, right? Like you can't just say Popovich is not gonna have his guys ready to play, because he definitely will. One of the greatest, in my estimation, I think Popovich is probably the greatest coach ever. That I've ever seen coach basketball over my, watching basketball the last 25, 30 years, whatever the case might be. So yeah, it's gonna be, some fun and excitement for sure. I got my guy Reem up. He's a Chicago guy. So Reem, talk to the people, bro. Happy NFL Sunday to you. Give me your expectations, Reem. Talk to me a little bit about how you see the Chicago Bulls or the San Antonio Spurs, whatever you want to chime in with. Reem, floor is yours, bro.
What's good, bro? Good morning. Good morning. How y'all doing? I don't really got too much to say on the Bulls, man. They can't be nobody good. I still think that's gonna be the problem next year. But yeah, like you said, but that's Spurs. The value on them Spurs props, especially early on, bro, gonna be insane. With Keldon Johnson, I think he averaged like 2.1 assists last year. I'm pretty sure we'll be able to get him laddered up to 6 early on in the year, bro. Because like you say, Coach Pop gonna put him in position to be successful no matter who's on the floor. Just how last year we had that OKC Thunder with like the Josh Giddey, that movement when he had like a month where he was just cashing on all his assist props and rebounds props. I think it's gonna be the same way with this Spurs team. Actually, they're gonna be a high scoring team, bro. But like you said, that the offense Pop gonna run. I don't think they're gonna necessarily struggle. It's just gonna be more like we don't know who those guys are. But that be for props betting. Those be like gem spots where you can cash in on some easy low lines, bro. Especially to start off the year with Jakob Paletti and Keldon Johnson with Trey Jones, bro, Doug McDermott. That's gonna be a fast-paced offense. I think that's gonna cash a lot of props. So I'm looking forward to playing some Spurs props early on in the year before they get too inflated, bro. I think Keldon Johnson gonna be inflated, but as he should. He gonna have the keys to the bus. I think he averaged low 20s. But his assist line is what stood out to me from 2.1. I'm gonna be surprised to see what they put it at the start of the year, bro. But I'm gonna be pretty much laddering all those guys up, bro, before they patch it up. after a few weeks.
Absolutely, Reem. I think we're on the same page for sure, bro. I think we definitely on the same page, Reem. We got it because you got to find value, like you said, Reem. When these teams have whether it's injuries, we saw it with COVID when when players was catching COVID left and right before the game. 2 hours before the game, you got to know what the rotation gonna be, and you got to know, what that value gonna be. Who Popovich gonna play? How many minutes they gonna get? Because one thing we do know is they gonna move the ball. They still super young, right? So it's not like they won't run. They're gonna be up and down the floor, like you said. Trey Jones gonna be there for sure. They're gonna get a lot of wide open shots, and I do expect Keldon Johnson to draw a lot of double teams, Reem. So I wrote down that his assist potential for sure. His potential assist gonna definitely be there, Reem. And what you said was from a prop betting perspective, you want to know, you want to do your homework now, right? You want to watch these teams in preseason. You want to be reading up on these beat writers so that who gonna get the opportunity, because those numbers will be inflated, like Keldon Johnson's will be inflated as the season go on. We will lose value. So it's a great opportunity, bro. It's actually getting me excited because I'm excited to, like you said, Reem, to be able to ladder some of these guys who gonna have real low numbers. The market not gonna know where to set them at, and that's a great time to attack. Great opportunity is what we look for when we're betting these props. If we think that it could go, Keldon Johnson could end up with 6 assists, and like you said, they got his line sitting at 1.5. That's a potential ladder spot for sure. We get him. We get Doug McDermott. Maybe his threes open at 2.5. They don't have a lot of shooters on that team. They playing against a team that runs at extremely fast pace and didn't guard the 3-point ball last year. He can give us 5 or 6 threes for sure, and the opportunity gonna be there for that, Ring. So yeah, I appreciate that, bro.
Another interesting thing is, bro, him and Paletti, they both averaged 32 minutes a game last year. So with or without superstars, Pop gonna play those young guys out, bro. He want to get them some experience and get them some. I really think we might could steal a triple double out of Keldon Johnson early on in the season, bro. And believe it or not, like I said, bro, that 6 assists can easily turn into 10 in a high paced game. Like I know they open up the season, they playing the Hornets and the Pacers, bro. Those 2 games, bro. I wouldn't be surprised if he give us a 25, 10, and 10. That's out the blue. Off them 2 games right there.
That's a fact, right? I can see it. I definitely can see it, bro. And then you got to think how does Keldon Johnson, how does he respond after getting all the money, right? Sometimes we see players kind of shy away, and they got their money, they don't do as much. But based on the opportunity, based on him wanting to be able to try to prove himself and play for his coach and understand his role on this team, Reem, I'm with you, bro. I think I lean more towards high numbers and bigger expectations because he understands the burden is on him. Also, you see guys like Keldon Johnson who plays second fiddle, right? Maybe last year he wasn't Batman, he was Robin. But now without DeJounte on the team, he also has that in his mind, in his conscience. Can I be the number one guy, right? How well can I contribute to this team? How much how much success do we lose based on losing a guy like DeJounte Murray? How much can I put on my back? So I agree with your synopsis on that for sure, man.
What you think about you think that big dude got potential to be an all-star?
Jakob Poeltl?
Yeah.
I don't know about all-star, Ring, but I will tell you Jakob Poeltl go hard, bro. Like if you watch the San Antonio Spurs play, he don't really back down against nobody. I remember last year, like his numbers going up whenever he played against the upper echelon defenses. Like whenever they played against the Utah Jazz, he was one of the guys that actually did well against Rudy Gobert day in and day out. They played multiple times. You can go look at his numbers on StatMuse, or go check his box scores. I think I don't know. I don't know about playoff. I don't know about all-star potential, Ring, but I do think that he's a guy that his numbers go up this year. I think his numbers go up for sure.
So look, if we got him sitting right now at 13.5 with 9.3 rebounds and 2.8 assists with a more bigger usage, I'd say he'd jump up to about 17.5 with about 11 and 5 rebounds. That should be enough, bro. You got Gobert and Towns combined on one team. If he get 18 and 12, bro, I think that's enough to get him in the All-Star game, bro.
18. Oh, I don't know if he's gonna jump to 18 though, Randy. I think that might be a tad bit too high. I think he could have games where he could get there, and I think the consistency piece will be big for him for sure. But I'm just interested to see what Pop what Pop does with him, because he definitely should be, get a much higher usage rate, like you said, this year. But you also got to remember they're gonna be heavy on, like, so Rudy Gobert probably make the All-Star team, like you said, but then Cat gonna make the All-Star team as well.
And Anthony Edwards, we didn't get them 3 guys. They're not gonna be top. Like, we got them probably about 6, 7, 8 seeds. Did I get them 3 guys from that team
for the All-Star game? I think so. Yeah. I think so. It depends. I don't know about. I think Ant could make it. It just depends on how consistent Ant is. We talked about that already. I think Ant got to be consistent for sure. But I don't think that Rudy Gobert coming over going drop Karl Anthony Town production at all. I also look for our guy Reem to be in that All-Star game this year too. Like, you know who I'm talking about. He ain't walking around sitting on the bench being called street clothes this year, bro. I look for our guy to be, one of them power forwards or centers in the All-Star game, maybe even potentially starting out in the Western Conference. So that's another guy. You know what I mean? So I think it's a couple guys ahead of him. That, but he could float with it. He could flirt with it and potentially make it if an injury or two happen. I'm looking for him to have a big season for sure, though, Reem.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I appreciate you, Reem. Appreciate you being here, bro. We ain't go, like I said, we ain't go dwell too much on the NBA because, like I said, it's NFL Sunday. But BJ, I want to get to you real quick, bro. Appreciate you being here and requesting up. What I say that you like or didn't like, bro? Talk to me a little bit.
Of course, Chris. I ain't too far from you, bro. I'm in the city, bro. So, you know what I'm saying? I fuck with you.
Okay.
but back to what you were saying, I say I'm a Spurs fan, bro. So like, if you really want to get on the props, get on them joints early, because he gonna really get a feel. He gonna get a feel to like see what he like right there. We got Vassell. Vassell gonna be good. I like his 3. I like his little 1 or 2 threes a game. He's gonna get better. We got Jeremy Sohan, Jakob Poeltl boards too. Jakob Poeltl, he was a little bad on defense last year, but hopefully that improves with him. Sohan, Keldon Johnson. We still got Trey Jones. We got Blake Wesley. We got some demons over here, man.
Yeah, I'm interested to see. BJ, I like Wesley, right? I like what is it? Brent? How you pronounce his name? Brenham?
Nigel Bradham. Yeah.
Bradham. Yeah, I like when whoever Popovich drafts. I like, right? Because we know what potential. We know that the San Antonio Spurs can develop players at a high level, right? So even those guys, who we might not even have lines for at the beginning of the season. You and Reem all on the same page as far as hopping on those guys early, right? We ain't saying go crazy, you know what I mean? Don't overextend yourself, but the opportunity gonna be there because Keldon Johnson, I think, will see double teams. Trey Jones will get a lot of playmaking opportunity. So yeah, I'm excited, bro. I'm excited for the Spurs.
He's gonna run the offense. I know for sure he's gonna run it through like Sohan, because he didn't waste a top 10 pick on Sohan for no reason.
That's a fact. Yeah, that's a fact.
So he's gonna run it through Sohan. It'll be Sohan, Trey Jones, and Keldon Johnson, of course.
Yeah, for sure.
I like Doug McDermott. The guy's value just gonna go up. That's all it is, and you just gotta catch him. Yeah,
you gotta catch him early for sure. I appreciate that. Appreciate you being here, BJ. Anybody else got anything else? Like I said, absolutely, bro. Absolutely. And real soon, BJ, we're gonna be making money and cashing tickets, and people gonna be able to go back to this show and say, "Damn, they was."
Take that daily trip to VA,
man. For sure, bro. Appreciate you for being here, BJ. Appreciate you, Reem, as well. Appreciate you, NBA chat, for being here in the chat. And doing these, like I said, big NBA guy. I love this for sure. So I just wanted to kind of recap these teams, man. Anybody else got anything they want to chime in? Request up. But if not, we're gonna go ahead and shut it down because, like I said, it's NFL Sunday, man. So I just wanted to, like I said, hop in, kind of preview these teams. The NBA season starts less than 2 weeks. If you join late, we recap the we recap the season, but also looked ahead to do a team preview for the San Antonio Spurs and Chicago Bulls. All of the spaces will be recorded. You can also check out my YouTube page, Crispy Cap and 2 P's and 2 N's. Subscribe if you're looking for content like this, because it's more to come for sure. We've already previewed the New Orleans Pelicans and Atlanta Hawks. We did the LA Clippers and the Brooklyn Nets. Yesterday we did the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Cleveland Cavaliers. And then today we're doing the Chicago Bulls. We just did the Chicago Bulls and San Antonio Spurs. Tomorrow we'll be back to the evening shows, 5:15. we'll look at the Charlotte Hornets and the Denver Nuggets. And then on Tuesday, we got the Lakers and the Raptors. So, some more fun, exciting teams coming up for sure. I appreciate you guys for being here. Best of luck on your NFL tickets today, man. Let's get some cash like always. And I'll see you guys again tomorrow.